Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic is going to receive a remake soon, something that will undoubtedly inject life back into one of the best eras of Star Wars lore. This announcement has gotten many fans interested in KOTOR for obvious reasons. But the lore of the KOTOR era can be a bit confusing, and for fans who aren't familiar with the original KOTOR games, it can be difficult to know where to start. If you're in that sort of position, never fear. This video was made for you. Today, we'll be giving you a basic rundown on the lore of the KOTOR era, giving you everything you need to know to dive right into the original games. For the sake of those who have yet to play the games, this video will be completely spoiler-free.
Attention, Sergeant on deck!
4,000 years before the rise of the Empire, the galaxy was caught up in a bloody series of wars. For millennia, the Galactic Republic had been beset by external threats, most notably the warmongering Mandalorians and sects of renegade Sith Lords. The Jedi Knights held the line against these threats, keeping the galaxy safe and secure, but a series of galactic-scale wars took their toll on the Order. 3,996 years before the Battle of Yavin, a conflict known as the Great Sith War devastated the Jedi Order, costing them their homeworld of Ossus and many of their great masters. This forced the Jedi to relocate to Coruscant and pick their battles more carefully in the future. Despite the losses the Jedi and the Republic suffered in the Great Sith War, they ended up overcoming the threat of Sith, who were supposedly vanquished at the conflict's end. In the aftermath of the war, the Jedi and Republic began to recoup their losses, hoping that peace would last long enough for them to get back on their feet. But this ultimately wasn't the case. Though the Brotherhood of the Sith was destroyed in the last war, some of the Sith's allies remained, most notably the Mandalorians. During the Great Sith War, the Mandalorian Crusaders fought alongside the Sith and were ultimately defeated above Onderon, defeated but not destroyed. They regrouped on Daxun, Onderon's so-called Demon Moon, where a new leader took up the Mask of Mandalore. He called himself Mandalore the Ultimate, and he reformed his people into the Neo-Crusaders, a new generation of warriors that was far more organized than the Crusaders of old. The Neo-Crusaders accepted beings of all species into their ranks and abandoned the nomadic ways of their predecessors in favor of more traditional empire building. The moment the Great Sith War ended, they prepared for another war, rebuilding their fleets and armies. Just 20 years after the end of the Great Sith War, the Mandalorians began raiding worlds in the Outer Rim, picking fights with civilizations that weren't part of the Republic. Beyond the Republic's borders, the Neo-Crusaders built up an empire for themselves, preparing a vast invasion force to unleash upon the Republic. Word of the Mandalorians' depredations eventually reached the Republic, but both the Galactic Senate and the Jedi Order neglected to do anything about it, as neither wanted another war so soon. This was a massive mistake. The more the Mandalorians conquered, the stronger they became, and before long, they had become strong enough to challenge the Republic. By 3,965 BBY, 11 years after they began their conquests, the Mandalorians began massing their forces on the edge of Republic space, sparking a standoff with the Republic Navy. A year later, the floodgates opened. The Mandalorians invaded the Republic in 3 separate sectors, trouncing the Republic Navy and conquering many crucial frontier worlds. The Mandalorian Wars had begun. The Republic was entirely unprepared for the Mandalorian offensive. It was still weak from the Great Sith War, and its navy proved ill-equipped to face the Neo-Crusaders' fearsome new warships. Time and time again, the Mandalorians beat the navy back, conquering a vast swath of Republic space. Most conquered worlds were forced to commit themselves to the Mandalorian war machine, while those that refused to do so suffered genocide at the hands of the Neo-Crusaders. Mandalore the Ultimate proved to be a ruthless commander, as did his chief lieutenant, Cassius Fett. No one in the Republic could match either of them. In just a few short years, the Mandalorians became unstoppable, and in 3,962 BBY, their invasion forces breached the core worlds, conquering the planet Duro. By this point, the Senate had repeatedly begged the Jedi for aid, but the Jedi Council refused. They feared the toll another war would take on the Order's numbers and the possibility of their students falling to the dark side in the heat of the battle. The Council thought that their joining the Mandalorian Wars would result in the return of the Sith. Fortunately for the Republic, quite a few Jedi disagreed with the Council's decision. They were led by two charismatic Jedi Knights named Revan and Malak, and against the orders of the Jedi Council, they joined the Republic war effort. Supreme Chancellor Tol Kressa welcomed the aid of these revanchists and snubbed the Jedi Council by giving them all the rank of general in the Republic military. Revan and Malak became the military's supreme commanders, each assuming control of a full third of the Navy. With Republic forces under their command, the tides were about to turn. Before the Mandalorians were even finished celebrating their victory at Duro, Revan and Malak launched a counterattack and reconquered the planet, driving the Neo-Crusaders back out of the core. Over the course of the next 2 years, they steadily reversed the Mandalorians' gains, driving them back out the rim and launching an invasion of Mandalorian space. But this came at an immense cost. Battles were extremely bloody as the Mandalorians fought tooth and nail for every scrap of territory. Republic forces were faced with an enemy that didn't surrender and didn't show mercy. In some particularly terrible battles, such as the Battle of Duxon, the Republic lost as many as 10 times as many men as the Mandalorians did, and that was a battle that the Republic won. But the revanchists pushed Republic forces to victory nonetheless. Malak was a charismatic leader and kept morale at a tolerable level, and Revan was a tactical genius, the likes of which the galaxy had never seen. Revan matched the Mandalorians' brutal tactics, sacrificing entire star systems to strike crucial blows against the Neo-Crusaders' war machine. He began to take moral shortcuts, doing whatever he deemed necessary to win the war. Revan's tactics worked. By 3,960 BBY, the Mandalorians had been beaten back into the Outer Rim. Their fleets were in tatters, and so were the Republic's. The war-weary forces came together one last time above Malachor 5, where one of the bloodiest battles of the entire war was fought. Millions of soldiers, Mandalorians, and Jedi perished. But in the end, the Republic was victorious. Revan boarded the Mandalorian flagship and slew Mandalore the Ultimate in personal combat, stealing his mask to prevent the Mandalorians from choosing a new leader. At Malachor 5, the remnants of the Mandalorian Neo-Crusaders were dishonored, disarmed, and scattered across the Outer Rim. It would be decades before they were a serious threat again. While the Republic won the Mandalorian Wars, there was little comfort in the victory. Once again, the galaxy was in shambles and the military was in an even worse state than it had been at the end of the Great Sith War. To make matters worse, the revanchists didn't return to the Republic after the Battle of Malachor 5. Following Revan and Malak, they vanished into the unknown regions, claiming to be hunting down a new threat to the Republic. They were presumed dead. Less than a year after the Battle of Malachor 5, the revanchists returned. They launched a surprise attack on the Forerost shipyards, claiming a large fraction of the Republic fleet for their own purposes. Revan and Malak declared themselves to be the new Dark Lords of the Sith, intent on forcibly turning the Republic into a new Sith Empire. The Republic was caught completely off guard, allowing Revan's Jedi turned Sith to lay claim to a wide swath of the galaxy. A new war had begun, later named the Jedi Civil War. The Republic was unprepared for a new threat so soon after the Mandalorian Wars, and it was unprepared for the revanchists' betrayal. But above all, it was unprepared for the betrayals within its own ranks. Many in the Republic military saw the choice between a crumbling, incompetent government and the heroes of the Mandalorian Wars as no choice at all, and swiftly joined Revan. Large chunks of the Republic Navy and many Republic sectors defected to the Sith Empire, as did many of the Republic's leading military officers. Saul Karath, one of the few competent commanders to serve the Republic during the Mandalorian Wars, jumped ship to become the leading admiral of the Sith fleet, responsible for the bombardment of the planet Telos 4. But the worst defections were those of Jedi. Unlike in the Mandalorian Wars, the Jedi Order immediately came to the Republic's aid in the Jedi Civil War, but they suffered dearly for it. Many in the Order had grown disillusioned with the Council during the Mandalorian Wars and joined Revan as Dark Jedi, turning on their former comrades. Between betrayals and casualties on the front lines, the numbers of the Jedi Order began to rapidly decline. Between this and Revan's seemingly endless supply of warships, the Republic's situation was dire. By and large, Republic forces were no match for Darth Revan's tactical genius, and after 3 short years of fighting, Revan's empire controlled a full third of what was formerly Republic space. But the Republic was able to stave off total defeat thanks to the help of one Jedi in particular. Her name was Bastila Shen, and she had a gift: the rare technique of battle meditation, which allowed her to coordinate entire armies through the Force. Thanks to Bastila, the Republic Navy was able to best the Sith in several crucial battles, keeping them from victory. In 3957 BBY, Bastila's battle meditation allowed the Republic to pull off a major upset victory: an attack on Darth Revan's flagship, in which the Dark Lord was destroyed. With Revan gone, the Republic suddenly had a shot at victory, but the Sith Empire was far from defeated. The moment Revan fell, Darth Malak assumed the role of Dark Lord of the Sith and seized control of the Empire. Malak didn't have Revan's gift for tactics, but he didn't need to. Sith forces still had the upper hand, and he just had to maintain their momentum. Under Malak, the Sith fleet became even more aggressive, and just 6 months after Revan's defeat, the Republic once again verged on collapse. That's where our story ends, and the story of Knights of the Old Republic begins. If you haven't played the original games, we highly recommend you do so. Don't wait for the remake. The story won't quite be the same, and you should experience the original unspoiled if you can. But what do you think? Are you excited for the KOTOR remake? Would you like to see more videos about this era? Let us know all your recommendations and more in the comments section below. We love reading them. And as always guys, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.